This is the story of the worst influencer scam I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them, okay? I'm practically a connoisseur at this point, a specialist in influencer scams, if you will. So believe me when I tell you that. So today I'm going to be giving you the short version and then the full juicy story of the new allegations coming out on, quote, SaveTheKids token. We already know that SaveTheKids was a failed crypto pushed by some of the top influencers on YouTube. If you haven't already seen my video, it's right here. You can also watch Mudahar's video on this. We've covered this in great detail. But what no one knows is whether any of these influencers knew it was going to be a scam ahead of time. They can and have claimed plausible deniability, one of them saying, quote, I have no ill intent promoting any crypto altcoins. It was all a big mistake. They are victims just like the other people. Today, I will be showing that this was a complete lie because I've traced some of these influencers' crypto wallets and will be revealing what they did with the crypto coins they've promoted to you and are now trying to hide the evidence now that it's all coming out. I will also be showing you hard proof that this SaveTheKids token wasn't designed to benefit kids. I will show you in the literal code of the coin itself that it was designed from the outset with the intention to extract money from these influencers' fans and followers. Let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the $10 million studio. I'm your host, Coffeezilla, the internet detective. And wow, there's no way to make this a short story. So we're gonna start this case at the beginning. A month ago, a friend of mine reached out to me and told me about a failed crypto project called SaveTheKids token. That wasn't that surprising. I get tips all the time, and I just sort of shelved the project while working on my Tether investigation. But something they had said had stuck with me. They had told me that several huge influencers were on board with this one, making it different. Faze Kay, Faze Jarvis, Faze Teeqo, Faze Nikan and Ricegum, Summer Rae. I mean, these are some big names here, some of the biggest in the influencer world. Together, they have well over 50 million followers between them. So the fact that all these huge names are behind something, it made me want to revisit it. How could they allow themselves to promote something that fell so flat? As soon as it launched, it was dead on arrival. This got me interested, and it had me thinking. I had recently covered the Kim Kardashian promotion. I had seen the Floyd promote crypto, and I was starting to wonder how much money is actually involved in this stuff, right? How much are people paid to do this? I mean, I'm sure these influencers love kids as much as the next guy, but you're not going to do a commercial like this for free.
My name's Frazier.
My name's Jarvis.
I'm Teeqo.
I'm Ricegum.
I'm Nikan.
And I support SaveTheKids token.
SaveTheKids token.
SaveTheKids token.
SaveTheKids token. SaveTheKids token.
So I decided to look into it. The first thing I did was go to their post-mortem on SaveTheKids HackMD article. They wrote some article basically explaining why it all failed. They said in a post, the most important thing to state here is that ambassadors of SaveTheKids are not paid by us and are not given any kids tokens. Ambassadors didn't delete tweets and then dump their tokens as claimed in the Telegram, as ambassadors were never given any tokens. Any of our ambassadors are involved in our project because they have bought into and believe in our mission. Ah, yes, we'll come back to that later. They believe in helping kids. Remember that. So I'm thinking at this point, okay, they believe in their project. You're saying they weren't given any kids tokens, didn't delete any tweets, so why'd the project fail? Additionally, I read about something called the anti-whale anti-bot mechanism. This is essentially a piece of hard code that prevents large holders of a coin from selling out at once. And this piece of marketing was repeated over and over again. Anti-whale measures can't sell more than 0.1% or transfer it in 24 hours. No larger than 20% of a whale's botted wallet can be sold within 24 hours, yes. And the whole idea here is to show people that this project is not going to be a quick rug pull, which in crypto is a term for when a project gets pumped and dumped immediately on arrival and is abandoned by large investors. And in their postmortem, they say these actual measures did indeed work as expected. It was audited by TechRate. But if everything worked as expected and these ambassadors were just in it for the kids, why did the project immediately crash? Was it an accident? I decided to investigate their Telegram to learn more, and I quickly realized the actual members were telling a very different story. Members of the Telegram were panicking and insisting that millions were scammed. Faze team took the profit and left. Why would Faze risk their reputation for this? You guys do know Faze Clan has done multiple pump and dumps, right? LMAO, there's a reason all their tweets were removed after they sold out on launch. And usually you don't have a whole host of people accusing you of scamming if there was nothing fishy going around. So I decided to do some further digging, and this whole idea of ambassadors and not being given any coins turns out to maybe be wrong. According to the admin, they said, ambassadors bought in. We don't have their wallets. Don't know who bought or sold. Interesting, because earlier we were told they didn't sell. And then we get this news. Quote, we got confirmation from some of our ambassadors that they would not sell anything and simply bought pre-sale to support the project. If you don't know, pre-sale is a special access to people before the token becomes publicly available on the market. Typically, you get much better rates to buy at. But again, this idea that these influencers didn't get anything from this project other than just wanting to help the kids seems to be a little bit disingenuous, since it seems like some of them bought in. But again, we're reassured, look, they're not going to sell, right? So at this point, I'm thinking things are really fishy, so I reach out to Lucas, the developer. See, after the failure of SaveTheKids and everything flopped, he was basically the last person still hanging around the project. And at first he seemed helpless, kind of like a fall guy, honestly. In a post, a moderator explains that Lucas is not the founder of this coin, even though he developed it. He says, quote, Lucas is a dev that was contracted till the 14th of June to write and set the foundation of this coin. Lucas chose to stay on and to work on this project on his own accord, whilst the others left, and he's not the owner of the coin. Fair enough. A little bit weird that we don't know who's responsible for this giant coin that's pushed by these huge celebrities, but fine. When I reached out, Lucas responded and was pretty eager to help, honestly. He had said he had been taking a break from Telegram. I said, no worries, thanks for reaching back out. I asked him, who is the true founder of SaveTheKids? Because he just seems like a developer, but it seems like he would know. Was it Faze Clan, influencer, the mob? Like, who's involved in this thing? I literally have no idea. He told me, I wish I could let you know, because I really don't. We kept talking, and he told me that he suspected foul play and that this was bigger than one crypto coin. My theory, a group of large money names are going around finding dev teams, finding promoters, and setting up a large hyped launch, then dipping initially. He also told me the only real contact he had was to a guy named Manny and H. I asked for their contact information. He said, no clue. Blocked. I got blocked by all of the team, basically. All right, so at this point, I'm pissed, right? Like, here's this poor dev who gets made to be the fall guy for a token that like wasn't his idea. Seems like he got hired to do it. Now it's coming on him. So I'm like, look, can you think of any tie to the founders? You know, it only takes one clue to find everything. And he responds that he does have a clue. So I got tokenomics@gmail.com that sent me the contract, who I also emailed back my PayPal for the $10K they paid me. Then all the rest was from H on Telegram. Bingo. That's all we need. Tokenomics@gmail.com. That's the clue that's going to unravel everything. I start searching the internet, right? I get the computers running 24/7. It was all clocked in, but I can't find anything. This account is a ghost. Usually there are a few threads you can pull on, nothing. So then I contact my buddy, Barely Sociable. He starts digging around and pings me back with news I couldn't have ever expected.
The kid is lying. That email doesn't exist on PayPal. I used forgot password to check. According to PayPal, there is no account associated with that tokenomics@gmail.com.
That's something that I hadn't considered before. Maybe this developer, if he's a real person, maybe he's lying to me and he's actually involved in sending me on some wild goose chase. I don't want to let him know I'm suspicious yet. So I start asking for, this contract that he seems to have signed. All of a sudden, he gets testy. He asks for a lawyer. Interesting. The next day, he makes it even more clear. He says, hey Zilla, sorry. So my lawyer said don't share anything for now. And also, I'm not sure I'm willing to help out much more. Since your video has been up, I've gotten a lot of death threats, and somehow my family even got one, so I'm not looking to further involve myself. Sorry, hope you understand. Just as a quick caveat, I didn't mention Lucas in the video at all that he's talking about. I respond, Lucas, you need to talk, man. If you have nothing to hide, I can make sure you get fairly represented. But parts of your story aren't lining up, like this 10,000 from PayPal from tokenomics@gmail.com. I checked that email for PayPal. It doesn't exist. A couple hours later, he deleted his account. All these logs were saved in advance. And at this point, I'm pissed because I'm pretty sure that this kid is full of it or not telling me the whole story of what he knows and is sort of trying to back out of this thing, because I never mentioned him in my video, and he's sort of all of a sudden, as soon as I start asking bigger questions, he starts clamming up, talking about lawyers. And I'm still no closer to finding out the truth about what happened with SaveTheKids. I mean, was it influencers? What was it? This developer? Was it this anonymous founder, Mr. H? Like, who's behind it all? Who's responsible for this? In my first video I'd put out, I had called the coin a scam, but there's not much you can say as far as did they sell, didn't they? It sure seems like they did, but we don't know who or how much they sold. So it feels like at every turn, I'm stonewalled. The dev isn't talking. I can't trace the wallets. The influencers are staying silent. Now, the thing is, at this point, we kind of know these influencers got in on the pre-sale. We were told as much, but here's the thing. We know where those pre-sales went. That's one cool feature of the blockchain technology. It's public to everyone. You know, where the money was sent, what those wallets then did with those SaveTheKids tokens, exactly when they sold them, if they bought more, etc. It's all out there. The problem is we don't know whose wallets are whose. There isn't some big name on these long blockchain addresses that says like Faze Clan or Ricegum. It's just a bunch of random numbers and letters. And without that key information, there's no way of really telling which influencer sold what and if they were just dupes, you know? Maybe they got in over their heads and simply were fooled like everyone else. Maybe they were victims, right? So we really don't have the full story. So for a day or two, I was just like stuck thinking about how can we prove whose wallets are whose. But then I remember something. These influencers have been deleting tweets, like a lot. Some of them deleted their support of SaveTheKids project, but that's not all. They've even deleted other crypto projects that they've promoted and done giveaways. And I started to wonder, what if those projects were also scams? What if, at minimum, they were equally sketchy? What if this wasn't a one-time thing? And what if they left some incriminating evidence in one of their earlier schemes? It's worth a shot because, like, my other leads were drying up quick. So I just start no-lifing the archives. Tweet after deleted tweet, I'm hunting through, and finally I notice a pattern of giveaways with some of these guys. They'll say something like, this is the craziest thing I've ever done. I will double your Safe Galaxy wallet. This tweet has now been deleted, but I pulled it up in the archives. And then they pick some winners. You won. Just confirming this is the right address? Maybe you see where this is going. Let's go. Here's my wallet address. This is all we need. Using this wallet, we simply cross-check it at the time of giveaway, see that they got the winnings, and then check who sent it. We then check if that address has SaveTheKids tokens and other tokens that these people have promoted in the past. If it's actually Faze Kay's wallet, it should have both Safe Galaxy, which he's promoting here, and SaveTheKids tokens, which he also promotes. And it does. Here's the SaveTheKids tokens, and here's the Safe Galaxy tokens, which incidentally he got from the Safe Galaxy deployer, meaning he's not just some random person. He's clearly someone with influence. That's how these tokens do it. They give free tokens to the influencers from the deployer wallet. That's all there is to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I just repeated that process for each influencer, and I found 3 confirmed wallets: Faze Kay, Faze Jarvis, and Faze Nikan. The others remain a mystery. But you know what this means? It means now that we have their wallet address, which is public, we just didn't know whose public wallet address was theirs. Now that we have that, we can see what they did with their SaveTheKids tokens. We can check all their so-called crypto endorsements that they've been doing and find out, do they actually endorse these products or do they dump them immediately on you? So before I show you what they did, just remember, these guys, these influencers, leading up to this token being launched, promotional tweets are sent out, you know, a damn commercial was being made. And remember, it's all to save the kids, right? We're doing this not for money, but to save the kids. This is Faze Jarvis's wallet. He got in the pre-sale and quickly sold out 2/3 of his total holdings within days of the launch. This is Faze Nikan. He immediately sold about 1/3 of his total holdings and then seems to have held on to the rest. But by far, the really bad one was Faze Kay's wallet. He dumped all of his kids' tokens immediately. Within 24 hours, he went from 6.2 billion tokens to 4 tokens now. That's right, he sold all but 4 tokens. But obviously, what's interesting here is that not all of these influencers acted quite the same way. You know, Faze Nikan sold a third right away, held onto the rest. Faze Jarvis sold 2/3 over a few days, but Faze Kay completely abandoned the project altogether. Why? Well, I think it has to do with their intentions. Look, I looked pretty extensively over Faze Nikan and Jarvis's wallet history. They do not, in my opinion, have a pattern of malicious selling. What I mean by that is when they get a coin, you know, maybe they'll get some coins, sell some, buy some, and, you know, sell some more, hold on to something like a trader would. And of course, I'm not saying that promoting garbage scam coins to your fans is okay, right? It's not. But everything they're doing, it seems like they're not premeditating to sell everything. Faze Kay, on the other hand, whose wallet we're looking at now, should be called Faze Rug, actually. What I mean by that is that he not only sold SaveTheKids instantly, he has a history of doing that to every project or nearly every project he gets involved in. Like take this coin right here, which is called gamesafe.io. He got these coins, immediately sold them out, and this is the date, okay? So 31 days ago, and then you could see the sell-off was almost immediate. Or take another coin, Safe Galaxy, which he's actually promoted to his fans. He got coins from a deployer wallet once again and immediately sells them off. Now, why did he get these free tokens in the first place? Well, it was probably his promotional tweets he did about them. To get Safe Galaxy, follow this guide. Remember to tweet Safe Galaxy with your wallets. I'm in the Telegram group chatting right now. Ask me your questions there. So he's promoting this coin to his followers, telling them how great it is. Meanwhile, his actual actions within his wallet that we can see right here. Again, this is the same wallet that we saw him sell the SaveTheKids off in Eclipse. He's just selling everything as fast as humanly possible. Moon Portal, same thing. What I'm trying to say is this is a pattern of deceiving his fans, pumping something, and selling it to his fans so he gets the best price. How much money did he make from it? We'll try to calculate that later. And by the way, if it feels like I'm belaboring this point, I am. Faze Kay has consistently deceived his audience by pushing crypto to them while having a bag of crypto given to him by these coins, I guess, for promotions, and selling it immediately to them. And he'll make videos promoting these tokens like Moon Portal.
Yo, Moon Portal is out right now, guys. You can swipe up and check it out.
He'll also tweet about them like this. He said, wow, moonportal.io making the Robin Hood of crypto. Great project and great team behind it. I'm with them long-term 100. That's interesting, really. With them long-term 100. Luckily, we can check your wallet to see what you actually did. It looks like you received the funds 37 days and 18 hours ago, or on May 22nd, and it looks like you sold the coin also on May 22nd. So it looks like, Faze Kay, you may not understand what long-term quite means. Either that, or you're lying to your fans. Which is it? Do you not know what long-term 100 means? Or are you blatantly lying to your fans? This man has 0 portal on him. He had 43 billion, now he has 0. And look, why am I showing you this? Well, a few reasons. Number one, while covering this, some people put out a theory that SaveTheKids failed because of a tweet from Nelk that went out.
So they're promoting it, they're telling people that they're ambassadors or whatever. The coin comes out, it starts going up in value, and then Nelk puts out this post. And after that tweet comes out from Nelk, everybody starts panic selling, and the SaveTheKids coin plummets down and everyone loses their money.
Okay, so the idea here is that it's all of Nelk's fault for calling out these influencers for what they're doing, and it caused this big panic sell. It sounds interesting, but it's completely false, and I want to debunk this because I think this was likely told to Keemstar to just make these influencers seem like they're innocent, but it's false. I know this because we can actually see when the tweet went out, 7:55 June 5th, and Faze Kay actually started selling before that tweet. As you can see here, he first started selling June 5th as well, but this is UTC time. And adjusting for that, he started selling at 6:05, which is about 2 hours before Nelk would tweet. Now, this proves that some people involved, like Faze Kay and others, planned to sell from the start. And even without this simple proof, by the way, we know that he would have sold anyway from the start because Faze Kay always sells from the start. That's what he does with almost all the coins he's promoted before this. Now, the second reason I'm showing you all this evidence is because I absolutely refuse to let anyone spin this into a narrative of like Faze Kay being naive with crypto, not understanding what he was doing, right? He's innocent. You know, just look at his apology. I want you all to know that I had no ill intent promoting any crypto altcoins. I honestly and naively thought that we all had a chance to win, which just isn't the case. He was naive, guys. This is yet another lie, because if you thought everyone had a chance to win, you wouldn't be running for the exit like someone just shouted fire in these coins, right? Faze Kay knew he had to be the first one to get out of these coins in order to profit. Like he's done so many times before, he sold out of SaveTheKids token that he was an ambassador of within 24 hours. Now, I wish I could tell you who else sold and what else they did, because I'm sure the others aren't completely innocent. But for now, a lot of these wallets remain a mystery. But now that we know how these influencers, spent these coins when they sold them, I wanted to count up how much you can make from a rug pull like this, right? That was one of our big questions. So I called up my buddy, Some Ordinary Gamers, to help me calculate how much someone like Faze Kay stands to make from these crypto promotions. We crunched the numbers by counting how many tokens he sold times the price at that time. And we got a rough estimate of how much you stand to make.
So really, really rough estimate. When you look at the point of sale around the 6th, when the actual thing was going on, the peak of it, I think each calculation ended up being around 29,000, 30,000 if we're being a little bit more liberal on that. But yeah, it's about what we saw for SaveTheKids. Now, of course, when you factor in all the other rug pulls, some of them went as high as like 40, 50, 60,000, right? Depending on the severity of that pull. So cumulatively, if you look at some wallets, some people who are, alleged to be behind multiple accounts, yeah, that's a lot of money.
I mean, were you surprised? I felt like it wasn't as much as maybe I thought. Surely they're not risking their reputation for something that's, for an influencer as big as they are, doesn't seem to be like insane.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine for people who have entire personalities built around mansions and supercars, right? You're really risking your peak, your great career on 30,000, which is a lot of money, but it's certainly not enough to warrant putting that much risk on you,
What do you think is going to happen to these guys?
I mean, if the SEC wants to investigate, they're going to get a fine, maybe prison down the line. I mean, the government doesn't screw around when it comes to financial crimes. That I think we know.
There you have it. Somewhere in the range of tens of thousands of dollars per crypto coin that was rugged, sometimes more, sometimes less. But at this point, I have to tell you that Faze Kay completely denies profiting from SaveTheKids token. I reached out to him in preparation for this video, and he said the following, quote, "Overall, the value of the token I purchased is down considerably from my purchase price. I definitely have not profited from SaveTheKids token." He also said he paid for some of the expenses. Quote, "I helped pay for the exchange listing or whatever could help it. The purpose of the project is charitable giving. It's in that spirit and with that intent that I was involved and I put capital into it." I don't know if I buy this. Like, okay, let's just say you lost money on this token. I disagree that selling the coins that you own within 24 hours of a charity coin is in the spirit of charitable giving, like you say. Also, there's the small matter of all these other tokens, which he failed to comment on. But even the fact he was able to sell all his tokens in 24 hours brings up sort of an interesting question. Whatever happened to the anti-whale mechanism? Remember, wasn't it supposed to prevent people from selling off this quick? I mean, you were only supposed to sell 20% within 24 hours. So what happened? How was he able to sell off this fast? I started to wonder about this, and that's when I got a telegram from someone inside the project who messaged me anonymously. "Hey, Coffee, I remember something. Lucas, the developer, told us before the launch that the owners asked him to modify the anti-whale system from 24 hours to a minute. So they were 100% planning to dump on everyone." If that's true, that's the smoking gun right there. It turns this project from a charity coin with some bad actors that sold off right away into a premeditated fraud. It turns it from an accidental rug pull into an intentional one. So obviously, I immediately started looking through the code because this guy said he heard about it, but he didn't know where to find it. And so I get to digging. Back to the lab again, boys. I can't overstate how much time I wasted looking for this stuff. And yes, it turns out that Lucas, the developer, had created multiple test coins before launching the main one. In particular interest was SaveTheKids Test 2 and the real SaveTheKids token. I compared their contracts using BSC Scan, and there was a single change in the code. The old code of SaveTheKids Test 2 read that you must wait a full 24 hours before you sell again. The new code, which changed at the last minute, changed this anti-whale to 1 minute. You must wait a minute before you sell again. And this is the only change. They changed the token just so they could premeditate this whole thing and almost remove the anti-whale mechanism completely. They turned it from being a code that wouldn't let whales sell off in less than 5 days into a code that lets you sell off in 5 minutes. Again, 5 days, they changed it to 5 minutes right before launch. So obviously I start trying to reach out to Lucas because this is what he seems to have kept from me, right? Like he acted innocent initially. He didn't tell me about any of this, but this shows that at least he was a part of this, right? He was complicit in this. Finally, I managed to get him into a Discord call where I confronted him. I'm seeing things from you that are deeply troubling in the code. And you went AWOL on me as soon as I talked to you about this tokenomics@gmail.com not existing.
I didn't see you sending that.
Okay.
Tokenomics@gmail.com does exist.
No, not on PayPal, though. You said you got paid 10K at PayPal, and we forgot passworded it, and it doesn't exist.
I got 10K in B&B. That's what I was given from the token directly.
Oh, you said in the Discord.
No, the PayPal is from Redbubble, I believe, but I don't have that.
Then I asked him about this anti-whale change. Lucas, you hard-coded in. So what I mean by you hard-coded in this thing to be a scam is that I know that you changed the anti-whale measures last minute to make it easier to dump on people.
Yep, I know. I've talked about that in all the AMAs.
That's a scam, Lucas. That's a scam.
Coffee, this is what I was told to do. I'm contracted. I don't know what to tell you. This is exactly what I was told to do.
I also asked him, if he doesn't know the creator of this project, how did he even get involved in the first place? This random guy named Manny reached out to him and he believed him? Very coincidental that you would just be picked out of a rabbit out of a hat and you're so close and you have no association.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. So there's no explanation for why that is?
I don't know. They're randomly picked out of the hat. This was a huge surprise to me. Wait, I remember when I was talking to Manny and he said that we're going to have influencers on this project. I think I can find this picture actually. And I was like, you're going to have influencers on this project. And he's like, yep. And he started naming names. And one of them was Kay. And I was saying, I'm sorry, but obviously I don't believe you.
He told me, no, actually he required proof. And this is what it was.
This was me being proven that this was actually influencers were on board on this. And I was like, oh, okay. Obviously I would work for somebody like that. I don't want to work for a project where there's people behind it. That's crazy. It's going to be huge. If I had, I guess my argument would be if I had direct connections, then I wouldn't have to be sent a picture like this that was to prove to me. So I guess that is what I'm trying to show.
It says Lucas and Manny.
Yep.
Lucas and Manny on this. To your mind, does this mean that Fraser was in on this from the get-go, even on the premeditation of this app? Because it doesn't seem like he was brought in as an afterthought. It seems like he was in this from the beginning.
I assume all the influencers probably were in this from the beginning because those were already lined up straight off the bat.
Wow. So Faze Kay was in it from the beginning. Now, I confronted Faze Kay on this and asked him how he knew Manny and who Manny was. He denied knowing him. He said, I believe he is a friend of the dev or a dev. I'm not sure exactly who he really is. Now that's funny because the dev says he doesn't know Manny at all. Manny knew Faze Kay, and Faze Kay took a picture with the guy's name on it. So I find this pretty hard to believe you don't know a guy and then you're writing his name on paper. I also asked Lucas who was behind the anti-whale change. Obviously, this is one of the most malicious parts of all of the code. He told me it was sort of talked about in a group of a lot of influencers. It was a huge group chat, which he was later kicked out of talking about the anti-whale thing. Do you remember which influencers were telling you that you need to basically speed up the time that they can basically dump more of their
So the only one
wallet.
I remember because he's on my screen, I know Smeef was in the group chat. I don't know if he was one of the main ones who was like actually messaging it, but I know there was a general consensus of them being concerned. So they weren't the ones telling me to lower it. They were very concerned with, and I was just trying to explain this is good for the product, like blah, 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 like 24 hours good.
Why do you think they were concerned about that?
Well, I mean, obviously now, probably because they want to dump right away.
Another interesting moment of the call was he told me that a YouTuber named Joel Morris was also involved. Now, Joel Morris is the creator of XCAD token. He's another one of these guys claiming to be serious and trustworthy with crypto. So what did this guy do when he got in the pre-sale? Joel Morris was involved as well. Do you remember what address he gave you? He should have given you an address to like check, right?
Yep.
Can I see it?
I have it.
Let's do a quick check here.
Easy scan.
Oh, he immediately dumped. Oh, man. Looks like Joel Morris took advantage of your little crypto rule here.
4 hours, everything right away.
And then within, it looks like, within a very short amount of time, he completely dumped his bags. He sold immediately to drive the price of a kid's charity token even further into the dirt. By the way, you'll notice here that Joel Morris took advantage of the change in the anti-whale code because he was selling literally every minute. So clearly, these influencers knew that the code has changed. Now, honestly, this whole thing is so vomit-inducing. Like, this developer's telling me he was misunderstood and is just following orders. You have Faze Kay saying he didn't make money despite trying his hardest to be the first to sell off. You've got basically everyone claiming to be innocent, but you couldn't design a bigger token scam and a bigger commercial for it. The biggest influencers in the world all saying that it's such a great opportunity. Now, the last person we need to talk about is Sam Pepper. This is an old YouTuber who, according to Reddit posts, now works with Faze. Apparently, he's their camera guy or comes up with video ideas or something. The point is, he's close by them, he talks to them, etc. He kept coming up in my investigation, even though he wasn't a public part of the project. He apparently was one of the people promoting this thing on Reddit and creating the mod team. I was told as much by the mods themselves.
The biggest thing that I know is that Teeqo, who was a mod, asked me to be a mod before launch. I know that him and some of his guys were brought in by Pepper to mod this stuff up.
So Pepper was brought in to mod this thing up. So what does Sam know? How is he involved? And how much did he really organize? A different mod reached out from the group and told me that the group had been talking and realized that maybe Sam was the common link. They said in a conversation that Sam handled the pre-sale, as far as I know, and that, quote, Sam deleted his Telegram. Why did he do that? I had someone actually reach out to Sam, and he said that he also had no idea who Manny was. He seemed to be in charge of finding the mod team and says that he's not the mastermind. After all, Faze Kay apparently brought him on board. Quote, that makes no sense. How would I already be on board if I found out from Kay about the project? When I found out about it from Kay, he was already an ambassador. Wait, so Faze Kay got Sam Pepper in the coin, which was later confirmed by Faze Kay himself. He said, they asked me if I have chat mods, but I don't. I knew Sam had mods, so I asked for his, not for Sam himself. Now, bear in mind, Sam Pepper doesn't have a great reputation around crypto. He's known as Scam Pepper by some of the cryptocurrency community for all of the rug pulls that he promotes himself. But nevertheless, it's all leading back to Faze Kay, who himself is insisting that, oh, no, I didn't make any money, that he's the victim in all of this. So where does that leave us? Fact one, we know Faze Kay lied about being some naive crypto investor. He's got a history of dumping nearly every crypto project he's ever been involved in and promoting it to his fans. Fact two, we know this thing was designed from the absolute get-go to be a scam. You bring people in with this anti-whale mechanism, and then at the last minute, you remove it. Number three, we know a lot of other YouTubers were involved, even besides the ambassadors themselves. People like Joel Morris, who sold off immediately. And fact four, we know that the real victims were you. the fans of these guys who got in believing that you were somehow supporting kids by getting involved. That's the biggest lie of this whole project, that kids were going to be helped by this. The only thing we really don't know at this point is who the creator and mastermind of this entire operation was. I have my suspicions, but no proof. Whoever they are, though, they successfully used the greed of influencers and their following to design one of the grossest rug pulls of all time that used charity to take money from fans who are less well off and give it to the people who were shilling the thing, I guess? And it's not for trying that we don't know who that is. I've asked everyone involved. Lucas, I've asked all the influencers I've been in contact with. Everyone claims to not know who this mastermind is. Is it this Manny guy? I also heard of a character named H in the Telegram who apparently was ordering everyone around. They all say they have no idea who these guys are. And that's either yet another lie, or these influencers are just really dumb and didn't bother to do due diligence on the project that they were about to promote to their millions of fans. All right, well, that basically concludes my investigation. I hope the people involved with this face justice for it. And I also hope that two parties learn from this. One, you, the viewer, should now be sufficiently disgusted by the actions of these so-called influencers. The second group that should learn from this are influencers. If you are an influencer, let me tell you from the bottom of my heart.
Stop it. Get some help.
If you don't, the feds are gonna eventually stop you anyways. What was done here today with this token could be considered illegal. John McAfee literally got charged doing the same things you guys did. And the fact that you're throwing away your name and brand for this is disgusting. Stop posting on social media about crypto, period. If you're not a financial advisor, stop acting like a financial advisor. And that's it. I tried to tell you guys it was going to be a crazy one, but man, even I didn't realize how long this thing was going to be. Now I can finally rest, stop covering these stupid influencer scams, and just really just relax.
Hello there. That's Justin Bieber. I'm Perez Hilton. And if you like Dogecoin, you'll love baby Dogecoin.
Oh, God, no.
I'm doing the same thing as you. Holding my doink. That's what I'm doing. This is a coin I believe in.
Oh, damn.
I know what you mean. This ain't what it seemed. Nothing but a trick. Trying to sell me on a dream. But that was where you lost me. Wake up and smell the coffee.